Every morning before my daughter and I go separate ways, we've got a very small routine. It's nothing too complicated. It's just a big hug, a kiss on the cheek, and a big high five. As she walks away, she always says the very same thing. Bye-bye, Dada. And then I'll also be on my way. For her, it's probably just a playful moment before she goes to school. But for me, that moment lingers a little bit longer because every now and then, a thought crosses my mind that I can't quite ignore. What if one day that goodbye was the last one? And I'm not saying this because I'm expecting something bad to happen, but because life has a way of reminding us that tomorrow is never promised. The truth is that most of us never know when we are saying our final goodbye to someone we love. If we did know, we would hold that hug a little bit longer. We would look at their faces a little bit more carefully. We would say the things that we keep postponing. Things like, I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm grateful for you. But life does not work that way. For many people, the last goodbye comes quietly, like any other ordinary day. But then suddenly, the moment is gone. After someone leaves this world, there is one wish that echoes in the hearts of many of us. We just want 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to say the things that we wanted to say but never got the chance to. 5 more minutes to ask the questions that we always wanted to. 5 more minutes to hear their voices just one last time. Imagine the stories you'll tell in those 5 more minutes. The apologies, the laughter, and the love. Grief is one of the most powerful emotions a human being will experience in their existence. And yet, it's also one of the least understood. Many of us grow up thinking that grief is something that should come and pass quite quickly. After a certain amount of time, we expect that life should go back to normal. But everyone who has truly experienced grief and loss knows that it doesn't work that way. Grief is not like a problem that you find a solution for. It's not something that you can navigate your way out of. Instead, it's something you learn to carry. When we lose someone that we love, something inside us changes. The world continues moving, yes. People go back to work, children go back to school, and the traffic fills the streets. But for one person who is grieving, time almost feels like it has literally stopped. There is a constant emptiness where someone should be. Mostly, you'll find that there's a chair in the house that is empty. That phone that does not ring anymore. A voice you will never hear again. And in those quiet moments, grief begins to speak. Sometimes it speaks through extreme sadness. Sometimes grief speaks through anger. Sometimes grief also speaks through questions that no one can answer. You find yourself asking, why did this happen? Could I have done something differently? Why them? Psychologists have tried to understand this as well. Now, one of the most widely known explanations is in the 5 stages of grief that was introduced by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross. These stages include denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. But the truth is that grief rarely follows a neat sequence. Some days you feel like you're very strong. Other days, the pain returns without warning, either triggered by a song, a photograph, or a familiar place. Grief is an unpredictable experience. Why? Because it's triggered by love. The depth of our grief reflects also the depth of our love. In many ways, grief is love that doesn't know where to go. Let's talk about the 5 stages of grief as introduced by Dr. Elisabeth, and also look at how we can navigate our way through them. The first stage is denial. This is when the loss feels unreal. Now, at this point, you sort of find yourself struggling to trust the information that you've just given. This is when your mind protects itself from the overwhelming pain. People in this stage tend to respond in the following manner. This cannot be. You'll find them saying, no, there must be some sort of a mistake. Now, denial is not weakness. This is your mind giving your heart the opportunity to catch up. But the big question is, how do we deal with it? Now, the first thing you must do is that you must allow yourself to process things slowly. You should not force acceptance. Instead, what you should do is try to talk to someone. Maybe try to sort of find clarity in what they're saying. In this instance, maybe even sharing memories will allow you to sort of ease into it gently. The second stage in this respect is anger. When the pain turns into frustration. As the reality begins to settle, grief can turn into anger. People may feel angry at the world. Some of us are even blaming the doctors. We're blaming how certain people responded in the circumstances. We're also blaming our family members. Sometimes we even blame the person who passed away. Most times this anger is directed at life itself. Now, how do we deal with it? How do you deal with a situation where you are angered easily because of loss? The first thing is that you must recognize that this anger is a pain looking for a voice. It's basically looking for expression. So instead of staying silent, you must speak about it. Other people have even learned to write about it. Some of the best books in the world were books where people were expressing anger. But you must express it in healthy ways. In conversation, maybe. You must acknowledge that anger is easier to release. The third stage is bargaining. The what if stage. This is the stage where the mind searches for ways that the loss could have been prevented. What could we have done differently so that it doesn't land us in this situation? If only I had called him that day. If only I had gone to the hospital sooner. What if I had done something differently to sort of prevent the incident from happening? Now, this stage is unfortunately filled with a lot of guilt. And you keep second guessing yourself to say, did I do the right thing there? The big question is, yet again, how do you deal with it? Sometimes you need to remind yourself of something that is very important. That most moments in life are beyond our control. The truth is that you need to be very compassionate with yourself. You made the best decisions that you could in that moment because of the information or the knowledge that you had at the time. The fourth stage is a difficult one. I call this stage depression. When the weight of the loss properly settles in, this is when you begin to realize that this is a reality and I'm going to have to deal with this forever. At some points, you may feel a deep sense of sadness, very, very low energy, a sense that the world has also lost a little bit of its color. This stage is also painful, but it's also a natural response to the love that you had. The big question now is, how do you deal with it? Now, the first thing you should not do is to isolate yourself. You must stay connected with the people that you care about and those that care about you. Try to develop small routines. Take a walk at a certain point in the day. Eat as regularly as possible and try to maintain such routines. Sometimes it's just about you taking a rest. Healing often begins in very small steps. We're not fighting to change the world. The next stage is the stage of acceptance. You learn to live with the loss. Acceptance does not mean that the pain goes away. It just simply means that the pain means something different. The loss means something different. It means that you are learning to live in a world where the person you love is no longer physically present. At that point, you will realize that the memories start to feel less painful and they become more meaningful. You actually see that the love remains, but the grief becomes something you carry in a different way. Now, here are my closing thoughts on this subject. Now, the most important thing is for you to understand that grief is not a problem that needs one solution. It is a journey that you need to move through, so it needs time. And the depth of your grief often reflects the depth of your love. Thank you so much for watching. I really would like you to share this video with someone who is battling with grief. Share this video with someone you are struggling to connect with because of the grief that they are feeling. I really appreciate the fact that you have commented, you have liked, and you have followed this channel, because I'm going to be sharing more and more information. This is information designed to help us to deal with the pain that life has brought in our direction. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. This is Muraro signing off. Cheers for now.